Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Drip Podcast. This is episode 18. Jesus.
We're
Scary stuff. And with Scott, Bailey, and Lozzie. Today, fucking hell, we're going into Skinwalker Ranch, right? And on this podcast, we can be like, right, we're doing aliens, we're doing UFOs. Or we could be like, right, we're doing cryptids. Or we could be like, right, we're doing ghosts. Well, this fucking place is just everything all at once. It's an incredibly mind-boggling place. Now, if you've been a fan of me for a little while, I did do a video on Skinwalker Ranch a few months ago. But obviously, doing the podcast now, it'd be good to chat with everyone about it. Guys, have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch? I'd hope so, because if you hadn't, that means you don't watch the videos, which is devastating.
pressure.
I have heard of Skinwalker Ranch, yes.
Yeah.
Came across it when we went to Rendlesham.
Yes.
Rendlesham is considered the UK equivalent.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that. But I have heard of Skinwalker Ranch, but I didn't know that Rendlesham was considered our version of it.
Yeah. I'm going to put a few comments on blast because it's so funny. When me and Bailey did the first Rendlesham Forest video with Ronnie, I put in the trailer. I think I put in the trailer. I definitely put in the trailer where Ronnie says, like, this is the UK Skinwalker Ranch. And what you get with a lot of negative comments is they're dipshits with very short attention spans and evidently just watch the trailer. And obviously outside of the trailer, Ronnie goes on to explain extensively why, the similarities, like, the cryptids and the UFOs and the paranormal, all that sort of stuff. The fact that it's a paranormal hotbed. But these obviously just saw, like, that Rendlesham UFOs, and then they're like, it's not fucking Skinwalker Ranch, is it? Because at Skinwalker Ranch is this, and this. Like, just, do you know what?
I don't think
if you're not,
ever
if
said that there were skinwalkers in there. He was
Yeah.
just comparing it to the fact that there's a lot going on,
yeah.
like Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah,
you know?
innit? And it's just like, oh mate, bore off, man. It's just, but it just blows my mind. Like, but it just stuck out to me. Like, it's just so obvious that you only watched the trailer.
Yeah.
But that is those kind of people.
They exist.
They do, and it's a sad existence. You got to feel for them. Like, imagine your existence was going on different videos, just writing negative shit. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Being instantly incensed to the point where you've got to write a comment.
Yeah.
Before you finished it as well, just to really...
Yeah.
Before you
Whilst
even got to
watching
the actual
the
intro.
highlights. Yeah. Phenomenal. But like I say, these people exist. But yeah, fuck them. Anyway.
Skinwalkers themselves, some say.
Quite possibly. But yeah, obviously Rendlesham, the UK Skinwalker Ranch, due to the fact that there is a paranormal hotbed similar to this place. But this place, if you're going to call anything a paranormal hotbed, this place takes the piss. Like, I've got a list of alleged things that have happened there. But basically anything paranormal you can comprehend possibly being a thing, it basically happened here. And I guess the big question is, if it did, why? But before we get into all the ins and outs of the things that have allegedly happened here, what are your guys' kind of opinions, thoughts on Skinwalker Ranch itself?
I mean,
Scott.
Well, yeah, Scott.
So,
sorry, Lozzie. I was just throwing in someone to take over.
Scott, go on, son.
So, I think it's interesting that it's kind of, like you say, a hotbed for various different things. The fact that, it's cryptids, ghosts, UFOs, all in one place. sort of highlights there's something going on there. And I just think it's really weird that they're all sort of drawn to one place. Whereas normally, you hear of each thing happening in very differing locations. It's rare that they all sort of meet in one place.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bit weird.
That is strange. But I think there is another way to potentially look at it, in that we kind of take these different things, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, and put them into different boxes, different categories. Whereas in reality, potentially, they could all be one and the same. They could all be like interdimensional creatures, as opposed to creatures from outer space, ghosts of previously deceased, Bigfoot. I don't know. You know what I mean? They could all just actually be coming through portals and shit from other planes of existence, one of which said portal is at this ranch somewhere.
If there's portals, nice. I think Skinwalker Ranch is the actual central hub for portals, because there's so much shit going on there.
Oh mate, it's actually fucking nuts. Like the just the sheer amount that I'm going to be reading out in a minute.
Too much.
Some might say too much, to be honest.
Do we know roughly how big Skinwalker Ranch is?
We can definitely find that out.
Because if
right
it's
now.
like a similar size to Rendlesham, I mean Rendlesham's quite.
Oh, it's probably bigger.
Wow.
Ranches tend to be bigger, don't they?
Yeah, they're normally a lot of just like open field and
it's a lot of grazing land.
So it's a 500-acre property.
Oh, not that big then.
Right. No. And then Rendlesham.
500 acres.
Rendlesham might be bigger, actually. Rendlesham is considerably bigger.
Right.
Rendlesham is 1,500 hectares, which is 3,700 acres.
That's
but still,
big.
Yeah. But Skinwalker Ranch is not small.
I mean, Rendlesham is also very focused, I think, on, one section of that area.
Yeah. We did not walk 3,700 acres at all.
No, I don't think you did. You'd still be doing
reckon
it.
we walked 4. I didn't know
I think that's possibly being generous.
I
don't even know how far an acre is.
Yeah, I don't know how far. What is acre? Acre? What fucking?
If we were farm animals, we'd know exactly what 1 acre was.
Oh, was it right? Now I'm going to sound like a twat here, and it's going to annoy me, but a square mile.
Yep.
Is that just a mile? That's a mile in any direction, right? Is that right?
I would say, isn't it?
Area.
Yeah. A square mile.
I guess.
Is a square
basically,
of a mile.
I put acre to mile, and it's only allowing me to do an acre to a square mile, but it's saying area as opposed to distance. Unless I go length. No, because an acre isn't. An acre is an area.
Yeah, it's an area. So it's a square mile would be like a mile, a square with mile sides.
Google, what is a square mile?
Oh, that makes sense to me, no? We need to go back to school, guys.
I hate that maths has taken on such a large portion of this podcast.
Is a square mile the same as a mile? A square mile is a measure of an area, and a mile is a measure of length. So we can't actually find out. Right, how many miles is a square mile? It's not the same, so you can't even do it.
What?
1 square mile is equal to the area of a square with each side, measuring a length of 1 mile. So if we just went from side to side, or from one end to the other,
just did a shuffle.
Skinwalker Ranch is 500 miles wide. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Fuck, this is going to take some maths. Guys, you're going to have to come with us on this. I don't give a fuck, audience at home.
It's fucking big.
So, an acre...
I've had enough.
Bailey's video's gone. An acre is 0.00015625 of a square mile.
Right.
So, therefore, 500 acres is less than a mile.
I hate maths.
If this helps,
500
Can't
acres
Scott.
is 0.78125 of a square mile. That can't
according
be
to
right.
this
It's not.
Google I've done, 1.5 acres is the size of a football pitch.
Okay.
Because
No
that puts it
way.
into something I can actually picture.
Okay.
Full
Both
size,
length and not just
five-side?
length and width.
I don't think you can actually. Yeah, the maths doesn't work here because 3,700 acres. But then again, I guess 5.7 miles is quite far.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying there's a reason we're ghost hunters and not accountants.
I'd say more farmers or
Actually fair
I
point.
don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I don't know why an
Real
accountant
estate
is work.
agents.
Yeah, real estate agent.
This is
I
why
was just
we
thinking
only
numbers, but yeah.
explore outside places with guides, and we only stick
Well,
to
no,
exploring inside buildings on our own.
But in our defense, I also do think that we're trying to make sense of a formula that doesn't like we're doing area and length, and they're two different things.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's big.
It is big.
It's pretty large. It's got the girth. It's got the length. It's got it all.
One scar, this square the square mile shit is fucking me up. A mile? Right. How many acres is a 1 mile perimeter?
Yeah.
Right? So a mile by a mile by a mile by a mile, which by
That's a square mile.
that's a square mile,
Yeah.
is 640 acres.
That cannot be right, surely.
That would mean.
Is that the
Oh,
area
no, what
of
was
it,
it? Sorry, I'm thinking about Rendlesham. Rendlesham is 3,700. Skinwalker Ranch, where we haven't been, is less than a mile big.
I thought it was 50. Wait, so how many?
According to this website, Rendlesham is 5.7 square miles.
Right. That makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, why do we try and just work out acres and square miles? Why don't we just say, well, instead of looking at the size of it in acres, let's just look at it in square miles?
Oh, yeah.
What's the square mile of
It's just because they both go up in acres.
Yeah.
Bastards. Whoever
Probably just
invented the acre.
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch is 0.8 square miles.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's probably just to put it down
Whoever
when they're selling
invented
it.
the
It sounds
acre.
better, doesn't it?
I mean,
good
they're still
picture.
pretty fucking big. You know what I mean?
That's massive. That is massive. I hope that you all enjoyed that little segment.
It's been half the
Um,
podcast so far.
Yes. So where did we get up to? Lozzie, you were saying something about square acres.
I feel like I completely just shot this podcast down. But
It totally derailed.
that's it. I wanted to know in comparison how big Rendlesham was to
Yeah.
Skinwalker
So we're
Ranch.
talking 7 times the size.
So Rendlesham, yeah, okay.
So Rendlesham's 7 times bigger than Skinwalker.
So by numbers, theoretically, there should be more accounts of stuff happening at Rendlesham.
Yeah, and to be fair to Rendlesham, there is quite a bit. There's quite a bit going on.
Yeah.
But alas, what are your thoughts on Rendlesham? No, on Skinwalker Ranch.
That's it. I don't really know a lot about it, to be honest. I just know that it's a hotbed of activity. That's my general understanding of it.
Okay. Bailey, what were you?
I'm about the same, mate. I mean, I know there was some there has been some mad stuff that's happened there, like footprints just disappearing in snow and stuff after seeing like a giant wolf-like creature or something. Maybe I think that was something like that. Spoilers. But yeah, no, that's like and there's just been some mad shit.
Mad shit. Let's get into the mad shit. So, I'm just going to basically list off some of the shit that's gone on there, right? In no particular order. But let's have a little look. So, before we explore the recorded events let's set the stage, shall we? For Skinwalker Ranch, located in Utah, has long been associated with the paranormal, Native American legends of shape shifters. The ranch gained notoriety in the 90s with the Sherman family, but reports date back even further. Okay, so what's been going on there? Obviously, UFO sightings and anomalies. So numerous witnesses have reported strange lights and UFO sightings over the years. Orbs dancing in the night sky, disc-shaped objects defying the laws of physics. Some even claim to have seen portals opening in the heavens, which is what I'm saying about the interdimensional shit.
Question.
Yes.
What would a portal opening in the heavens look like, do we think? If we were to speculate.
I think, what's the fucking... I'll tell you what I reckon it'd be like. In Avengers, when Tony Stark is taking the nuke through the portal and the camera is following him, and then he goes through the portal and the camera just goes past the portal and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be like that.
Okay. See, I was thinking also Marvel. I was thinking like Doctor Strange style.
Yeah.
Sort of
Just
sling ring sort of
a
thing.
rip.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Just a rip in the fabric
Space
of
time.
reality.
Cool.
Yeah. But there's been portals witnessed. There's been UFOs. That is, just for reference, segment 1 of about 25. So lots of shit.
Okay.
Right. Shape-shifting entities. The legend of the Skinwalker comes to life with reports of creatures changing shape. Enormous wolves with an uncanny intelligence, humanoid figures that appear and vanish. Are these beings from another realm? That's the biggest one that stands out to me. Is essentially there was a fucking werewolf on Skinwalker Ranch, which is fucking insane.
Yeah. Was that linked to the cattle mutilation? Because I know that was a thing that happened when it was a functioning ranch.
Yeah, a lot of cattle mutilations. Some cattle like drained of all their blood. Some cattle just disappearing. Some cattle
just ripped
teleporting.
to pieces.
Yeah, ripped to pieces. Some
cattle teleporting.
Yeah, so there was a farmer, right? He had his like little truck with a thing on the back, like the full on like shelter for the horses and cows and shit.
Oh yeah, like a little one animal horse box thing.
Yeah, so he was like working on his farm. I may butcher this story, but it was along these lines. It was definitely along these lines. He was working on his farm. He had his like few cows behind him and that. Then he had like a bull behind him or whatever. And turns around, the bull's gone. The fuck? And then he hears a noise from inside his locked truck that was locked before. And lo and behold, the bull that was just behind him has somehow teleported inside the locked truck. Is what he claims. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Poltergeist-like activity. He had poltergeist inside the like farmhouse. Objects moving on their own, doors slamming shut, unexplained knocking. Lots and lots of poltergeist activity over the years. Like we said, animal mutilations, also time anomalies. So lots of disturbing reports involving animal mutilations with surgical precision.
Oof.
Cattle found with missing body parts and no apparent cause of death. Some witnesses speak of time anomalies, moments that seem to stretch or vanish entirely, which is pretty fucking crazy. Telepathic communication and physical effects. Reports suggest telepathic messages and sudden bursts of knowledge, yet encounters at Skinwalker Ranch sometimes come with physical consequences, leaving witnesses with unexplained burns and rashes. So, yeah, all sorts of shit going on. Electronic interference and unexplained lights, cameras malfunctioning, radios going silent, disruption on electronic devices. Then there are bright, intelligent lights emanating from the distance. Intelligent meaning like seemingly reactive
Right.
Yeah.
to you know what you're doing and stuff. Apparitions and strange animal behavior. Ghostly figures and shadowy apparitions have been reported. Meanwhile, both domestic and wild animals behave erratically, as if sensing something beyond our understanding. That's always creepy when your animals do that.
Just stare at a fucking blank wall.
They just know more
Yeah.
than you. That's,
Yeah. Just barking at shit that isn't there.
Oh.
Just fucking creepy. Underground tremors and psychic phenomena. Tremors from below the ground and psychic experiences add another layer to the mystery. What lies beneath the surface, and can the mind unlock the secrets of Skinwalker Ranch? Military and government involvement. Rumors persist of military and government interests. What draws these agencies to Skinwalker Ranch, and what might they know that we don't? Strange symbols and glyphs. Witnesses have reported the sudden appearance of strange symbols and glyphs on the ground. These markings seemingly manifest overnight and are often intricate in design. The origin and purpose of these symbols remain unknown. Invisible entities. Some accounts describe encounters with invisible entities or forces. Witnesses have reported feeling a presence, hearing unexplained sounds, or even being touched by something unseen. This adds an extra layer of complexity to the reported paranormal activity. Portal-like phenomena. In addition to sightings of UFOs, there are reports of what witnesses describe as portals or doorways. These openings in the fabric of reality are said to emit light or energy, and some believe they serve as gateways for the various phenomena experienced on the ranch, which is what I said. Like, you know, where all these things are separate in our minds, ghosts, aliens, cryptids, what if they are one and the same, or just all coming from the same source at least? Temperature fluctuations. Unexplained temperature fluctuations are commonly reported. Witnesses describe sudden drops or increases in temperature, often in localized areas. These temperature changes are not always correlated with weather patterns. Orbs and light anomalies inside structures. Witnesses claim to have observed orbs and light anomalies inside buildings and structures on the ranch. These lights are sometimes reported to move intelligently, navigating through rooms and corridors.
Oof.
Anomalous sounds, unusual sounds such as disembodied voices, footsteps, and unidentifiable noises have been reported. These auditory phenomena are often linked to other paranormal events and contribute to the eerie atmosphere of the ranch. Dimensional warping. Do you know what I mean? This
Jesus.
fucking shit's
Just
just
keeps
endless.
going on, doesn't it?
Some reports suggest the possibility of dimensional warping or distortions. Witnesses describe perceptions of spatial anomalies where distances appear to change or where structures and landscapes momentarily transform. The psychic phenomena beyond telepathic communication. Some witnesses claim to have experienced heightened psychic abilities or premonitions whilst on the ranch. These experiences include precognitive dreams or a heightened sense of intuition. Electronic voice phenomena, EVP, similar to traditional haunted locations. There are claims of capturing electronic voice phenomena through audio recording devices. These recordings allegedly contain voices or messages from unknown sources. We're nearly there, by the way. Interactions with unidentified beings. Apart from encounters with shape-shifting entities, there are reports of interactions with beings that defy categorization. These entities may communicate in ways that challenge our understanding of language and consciousness. Fucking hell.
Okay.
And lastly, bioluminescent anomalies. Witnesses have described seeing bioluminescent anomalies such as glowing mists and orbs. These phenomena are reported to emit their own light and move with apparent intelligence. So, obviously, a lot of these, potentially all of them, are all anecdotal and, you know, claims like that. But the was it NIDS, NIDS, I think, purchased the ranch from the Sherman family, who were having a bad time, and they literally set up like 24/7 paranormal investigation research at Skinwalker Ranch, And then I think since it's been purchased by like a multi-millionaire like real estate mogul, I think.
Okay.
And now they do a series. Yeah, The Curse of Skin. I think is it The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah, there is a TV show that I think is done by the History Channel. I can't think of the name, but it is something. I know they had a tour recently where they went on tour, almost like a stage sort of show with the crew of Skinwalker Ranch, the people that actually work there on a day-to-day basis.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. All I'm
What's that?
getting from this, like, vibe-wise, is have any of you watched the film Nope?
Nope.
I have, yeah.
I'm just imagining that. Like, I know.
Yeah,
it's,
pretty much.
yeah,
Pretty much.
that's the vibe I'm getting from this place.
Yeah. It is really fucking
Can you go
Yeah.
there?
I think you can visit.
They strongly recommend not going there because they will shoot. Apparently,
I'm saying, I'm
Yeah,
obviously not just saying just
poltergeist,
stroll
innit?
up there. Like, can you go like an organised visit?
it's a good question.
What about if you
Think
turn up
no.
with guns?
Yeah. What if you shoot first?
It's America can't say no.
That's it. He who shoots first gets to tell the story.
As discussed previously on the pod, if the door's open,
That's
That's
it.
it.
There's no lock on the gate.
There's
Just,
definitely a lock on the gate. Isn't there?
no, because of the scientific experiments, the ranch is not open to the public.
Oh,
Because of the scientific experiments.
yeah, developing the ray gun.
They may also have a dog that no one knows how old it is. It might be immortal, but
Ah,
What do you mean they have a dog that might be immortal?
we
there's
cannot
an ongoing
age.
thing when no one can identify the age of the dog.
What do you mean?
Dog?
What, just walking around on the grounds?
Apparently, I don't know the details.
No. Apparently, Skinwalker Ranch is recognized as the most scientifically studied paranormal hotspot on the planet. Skinwalker Ranch is a 512-acre secure site that has been monitored for decades with armed security and surveillance 24/7, 365 days of the year. This remote location was involved with a Pentagon-funded black budget project studying UFO activity, cattle mutilations, and strange phenomena, and is also known as a living laboratory for studying other intelligences and possible interdimensional phenomena.
Hmm.
Yeah. Please note, Skinwalker Ranch is closed to the public and does not allow tours. I have to say, that adds a lot of credibility in my eyes.
Or the Pentagon's involved in it.
No, the fact that it's closed to the public and doesn't allow tours. So they're not doing it for money other than the show and obviously the
Yeah.
books and shit. But they're not, doing
they're
fucking £500 a night tours.
Yeah, they're documenting it and showing stuff to the public. But also, there's probably a hell of a lot of shit that's going on behind closed doors.
Mm.
Like, I mean, I'm not being funny. Having a security team on the perimeter 365 days a year, that ain't cheap alone just to have that, let alone everything else that's going on in it.
And the people
Right.
there, so for example, Dr. Travis Taylor, who is the senior science advisor, has a PhD, and he was formerly part of the high-tech programs for the Department of Defense and NASA for 25 years.
Not bad.
So they've got like actual credible
Yeah.
scientists working there
The
24/7.
big boys on there.
He's
It's
on
not just like they've got
Yeah.
random people working there claiming they're scientists. They are
No.
he's on the
people.
gate with a 50 cal, isn't he? He's just waiting.
That's it.
Crank that
He
shit.
also Brandon Fugel. We have presented an abundance of independent, verifiable evidence regarding activity at Skinwalker Ranch, including witness testimony and accounts going back nearly 100 years. This includes the former deputy sheriff who responded to incidents on the ranch in the 1980s. Where did I have? I had the history. Right, here we go. Right, so let's just quickly have a look at a timeline. Interestingly, there's nothing on there about the 80s, which is hilarious. So timeline of the legendary history of Skinwalker Ranch. So 1776. Is that not
Maybe-
when? Is that not when America did the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so 1776, the Dominguez and Escalante expedition travels through Myton along Skinwalker Ridge. 1789, treaty broken between Utes and the Navajo. 1860, Northern Ute. Is that Ute? 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 Northern Ute Reservation established by presidential decree. And again in 1860, Utes joined U.S. troops in campaign against Navajo Skinwalker curse. Ooh. 1880, several bands of. I'm just going to highlight Skinwalker curse because I just want to look into what that actually is. Several bands of Ute tribes are relocated by the U.S. government onto the reservation surrounding Skinwalker Ranch. 1886, Buffalo soldiers are stationed at Fort Deschutes, one of whom is a known Mason and may have connections to the Masonic symbols seen etched into a rock wall. Again, in 1886, the U.S. military finalizes construction of a fort in Fort Deschutes. 1906, newspaper reports strange noises from homesteaders in the Uintah Basin. 1937, purchase and assemblage by Myers family. 1940 to 1960, Pat Stringham reports both UFO and Skinwalker activity. 1979, the Arnold family witnessed UFO craft. 1992, the Sherman family acquires a ranch from Garth Myers. 1996, Robert Bigelow acquires the property. 1996 to 2002, the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, program operating on the property. 1996 to 2013, NIDS and BASS program activities. 2015, Bigelow activities conclude. 2016, Adamantium Real Estate buys Skinwalker Ranch from Robert Bigelow. 2019, History Channel and Prometheus Entertainment begin filming The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. 2019, Candace Lind and Tom Lewis become caretakers of Skinwalker Ranch. 2020, premiere of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch airs on the History Channel. So
You said there was an incident in the 80s and it skipped from 79 to like 94 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Handy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. Counts going back to the 100 years. This includes a former deputy sheriff who responds to incidents on the ranch in the 1980s. Weird.
Strange.
And then you got Eric Bard saying, "We're not here to believe. We're not here to disbelieve. We're here to observe." Decent.
Nice.
But yeah.
I remember we must have done a. I'm sure we did. Must have done a live stream on this before because I remember out of all of that, I remember the name Adamantium. Real estate.
I do.
And I think we've discussed it previously.
We haven't done a podcast on this, have we?
No, we haven't done a podcast on it.
Definitely haven't.
But I'm sure we did a live stream at some point. It might have just been me and you back in the day. But I remember Adamantium.
Ghost Watch and Dark History of the Annabelle doll. Been abducted. Wow. Yeah, I'm just double checking now. We definitely haven't.
You did a video 4 months ago, and I think that's it.
Yeah, but I do recall say that with you, Lost, the adamantium thing. You were saying what an awesome fucking name that is.
Yeah. Adamantium.
Yeah. Well, in the comments, if you can remember where the fuck that was.
Isn't adamantium like
a Wolverine thing?
Yeah.
Is it not a real metal?
No.
No. That's what Wolverine's bones are made of, I think.
I was going to say it rings a bell to me as well, but maybe that's where we know it from.
Possibly.
Here we go. So there's more about the teleporting. So the cow teleportation into a truck. Rancher allegedly witnessed a cow seemingly teleport into the back of his truck. The rancher had been observing the cow in a field and then turned away for a moment. When he looked back, the cow had vanished from the field and was now inside the truck's bed. This event reportedly occurred within a short span of time and left the rancher astonished by what he had witnessed. There was also a cow that partially teleported through a fence. In another
Partially.
reported incident, researchers on the ranch claimed to have seen a cow's hindquarters and legs pass through a solid fence. The cow appeared to be partially phasing through the fence as if it were not bound by the physical barrier.
That's it.
Clipping out the map, mate.
Fucking
My
nuts,
rage,
man.
My rage knows no bounds.
There's just so many fucking voices in people's heads receiving messages.
See, that's fucking rank to me. Like, that
Yeah.
sticks out as one of the most rank things. Obviously, you got people changing shape and that, but like, just imagine you just walking in the ranch and someone's just whispering in your head.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's just fucking vile.
Like, yeah, not even in your ear, just directly
No.
into your brain.
Yeah.
Mate, that fucking bird just changed into a rhombus. I'm leaving.
Yeah, it just comes up to you. It's free real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no.
time anomalies are pretty cool. Missing time. Individuals have reported periods of time that they cannot account for, as if hours have passed in an instant. Time acceleration. Conversely, some claim to have experienced a sense of time moving unusually quickly, making events appear to unfold rapidly. Which is fucking crazy. I just want to quickly have a little look at what is the Skinwalker curse, and also what is a Skinwalker? Not alert. Fucking Skinwalker alert. I mean, what is a Skinwalker alert, to be fair? But what is a Skinwalker? They're all just you just ask, like, what is the Skinwalker curse? It's all just fucking Skinwalker Ranch shit. But it's interesting that a lot of them are in like Native American like folklore and history. Like, it's the same with the Wendigo.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a link between the Wendigo. I swear there was last time we did it.
Native American skinwalkers.
I mean, the whole concept of a shape-shifting creature has been around for quite a long time. But I guess, yeah, the Wendigo and the Skinwalker are very much the kind of Native American ones. And then you've got, your older European werewolves and things like that. And I sort of think they're very much the equivalents from various points of the world.
Right.
What skinwalkers are the equivalent of a werewolf?
I think it's a very similar concept, sort of something that's cursed to take a evil sort of shape-shifted form.
Am I right in saying that like a skinwalker has the ability to change into like what it wants?
I think.
Or am I making that up?
I mean, I've seen like. Is it the same as them like creepy videos where it's just like a person stood in like a field screaming?
That's exactly what I was thinking and was
Yeah.
also wondering. There's one specific, I think, where the person filming is on a horse. And there is just a person standing on the verge of a random thing in the middle of a field miles away from civilization.
I know
Screaming help.
what to do. When in doubt, go to fucking Reddit.
Boom.
Because they know everything.
Have we got any
Just like-
pictures we can see?
Not really. Not that I
Yeah.
can. I mean, Lozzie, you're welcome to Google image it, but
We'll have a look.
what is a skinwalker by Overall Disaster 4224 3 months ago? So basically, I'm just giving a detailed explanation from what I know of skinwalkers. Firstly enough, they aren't cryptids. They are witches. Cryptids are just unidentified animals, whereas skinwalkers are paranormal and human in origin. Also, kind of want to address some of the arguments I've heard about of some seeing a skinwalker in a region not inhabited by the Navajo, and some else uses the location difference as the end all be all to disprove them. I'm going to say this one time and one time only, so pay attention. Just because skinwalkers originate in the Southwest, that doesn't mean they are limited to the Southwest. Like how just because I'm born from Florida, that doesn't mean I can't just leave to go to Colorado. They were human in origin like us, and as humans, we like to travel. The same goes for witches and shamans who can shapeshift into animals that can move around much easily and much more quicker over terrain like birds or deer. I'm not saying everything unusual creature you've encountered from Florida all the way to Canada is a skinwalker. In fact, a skinwalker would be even more rare around northern parts, but just so you know that it's not impossible. Thanks for clearing that up. As for the cursed Skinwalker Ranch origin argument, that curse didn't create skinwalkers, it simply attracted the ones in the area. Also would like to address the taboo name thing. It's taboo to speak of them, great, but only in a more frivolous manner, not really in an educational manner through the use of nicknames is debatable. Skinwalker is a nickname in itself. Skinwalker is a witch or a shaman that practices bad medicine, or as we call it, black magic. They're capable of shapeshifting, voice mimicry, astral projection, possession, and have extensive knowledge of curses, hexes, and jinxes. One of the most notable of these being a graveyard bone powder that they blow at people to curse, poison, or asphyxiate them. As to how they were granted with such abilities and knowledge are murky at best to the general population, but what we do know... Fuck. I'm being
Got that
cursed.
bone duster.
Being cursed. What we do know is that they have to initiate themselves with the darkest of spirits and witches, with one of the steps being the willful sacrificial murder of a loved one, friend, or family isn't clear. In some cases, cannibalism is part of the process. I thought the cannibalism thing was a Wendigo.
Yeah, and I think this is where there's a bit of a, because they're quite similar. I think they often get merged into one because of that.
I thought the Wendigo is a curse because you committed cannibalism, specifically on a certain mountain, I think.
Yes, I think. Or at least in the presence of Native American spirits, I want to say.
Yeah. We will do an episode on one for sure, because I love them. Wendigo's probably my favorite cryptid. It's definitely up there. Another relatively unknown ability they have is that when they shapeshift into an animal fully or partially, they are said to be resistant to normal bullets and injury, which if you look at the Sherman family's first Skinwalker Ranch encounter, kind of supports this, as they saw an unusually large wolf. I mean, this wolf could look eye to eye with a 6-foot man. This wolf was unusually friendly and went right up to let the family members pet it, then attacked a calf. Terry Sherman, the father, had hit the beast with an axe handle and was kicking it. He then had his son fetch him his .357 Magnum, and he fired into the wolf's abdomen, but the wolf kept going. It didn't react to the fact that it just got shot in its guts. Terry fired again, and yet again the gun had no effect. He shot it again, and finally the wolf backed off. The most shocking part about this was the fact that there was no blood or open wounds on the wolf. It had been shot point blank 3 times, and yet it had no effect, not even a drop. Terry then shot the animal's heart, only for it to just back off 30 feet instead of falling down and, dying. It just backed off with a nonchalant look on its face. Terry then got a
30-06.
Yeah, 30-06 rifle. What the fuck's that?
Just a
hunting rifle.
Like another caliber.
Oh, right. A 30-06 rifle, and took aim, and the wolf remained perfectly still as Terry fired into it. The wolf still stood there without a concern for the world. It then backed off again. Terry fired again, and finally a chunk of flesh fell from the beast, and it simply fucked off to the woods. What the fuck? That's a bit rad.
Did you paraphrase that, or did he actually?
No, it just suddenly dropped an F-bomb in there.
Fucked off to the woods.
That sounded like a very you thing to add.
It literally says Terry fired again, and finally a chunk of flesh fell from the beast, and it simply fucked off to the woods. That's incredible. Terry and his son gave chase, and a long story short, I mean, you've done the long bit already, they came back to the little flesh pile only for it to look like it had been rotting out in the sun for a week or two. Let me rephrase all of this for y'all. This wolf took a beating from the... All right, yeah, we get it. You don't need to paraphrase after we just read it. They do have weaknesses. Firstly is white ash, which can be coated onto bladed weaponry or bullets. And how do you beat a magic user? Well, be a magic user yourself. Shamans and medicine men are certainly capable of handling skinwalkers, and has also stated that if you know the name of the skinwalker individual in question, then you should say it, and that saying it will kill the skinwalker in question. That's a pretty shit weakness, isn't it? Once they completed the initiation process and gained their abilities, they become a vile trickster who will go out of their way to torment or maim whoever they come across. The level of depravity they hold is almost unmatched, only rivaled by the worst of monsters, both in the literal and metaphorical sense. They are not to be confused with the Wendigo of the Algonquin tribes. The Wendigo is actually a spirit of the cold and starvation that possesses those who are either greedy and gutless, or starving and desperate, turning them into tall, pale, corpse-like cannibals who are skinny and in some cases have their organs spill out, with only similarity being voice mimicry. They, unlike other paranormal creatures, were people, meaning they can be anyone, even you or me. They are characterized by the fact that they are often seen wearing animal pelts. As for why, well, it's believed that wearing a part of the animal allows them to shapeshift fully into or partially into the animal in question. In fact, I believe this is one of the reasons as to why the pelts of predatory animals are often forbidden in Navajo-speaking tribes. After all, a deer or a goat can't do as much damage as a bear or a cougar. They seem to favor the forms of coyotes, crows, wolves, foxes, dogs, and deer, as often told in legends and even sightings today. Whilst partially or fully in these forms, they can use the physiological abilities of the animals, flight from birds, agility of a cat, the brawn of a bear, etc. Another notable thing that I alluded to earlier about them is if you speak of skinwalkers in their Navajo name, you'll risk catching the attention of he who walks on all fours. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. It was long, but I walked into it fully knowing that that was what was going to happen. That was really interesting. And I do feel like it shed a lot of light on the whole situation.
Mm.
And they are not to be mistaken with the Wendigo.
Fair enough.
What was that guy's name? Terry. Who had the gun and shot it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
shot the wolf.
Terry
Terry.
Sherman.
Can we just have a moment to, just admire the size of Terry's balls for kicking a 6 foot fucking tall wolf, mate?
You also admire the fact that he pulled out an entire arsenal. Is it Magnum?
You know,
Not
this one ain't
enough.
fucking
Hunting
working.
rifle.
Yeah. With that.
Axe handle.
I've kicked it, hit it with an axe, shot it with this, and now I'm shot it with that. How fucking Jesus Christ!
He's going through a
Terror?
checklist of hand-to-hand combat. No.
Jesus.
He's a
Axe,
fucking
no.
gangster, mate.
I've
Get the Gatling gun.
I found a couple of images, but I don't know. Like, there's not a lot
It's
on.
concept. It's concept art, isn't it?
Yeah, let's. I'll put it on screen. Do you know what I mean?
It's
That's
concept
the
art.
first one. They're blurry, and that's just. Do you know what I mean?
That's a fucking bench, mate, isn't it?
Yeah,
Pretty sure that's been in a thumbnail or two of mine.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
and then this one. This one looks like Avatar to me.
Oh, I mean, you wouldn't want to stumble across that.
No.
That's the
Maybe
sort of
it's Batman
thing that I
Wood,
was imagining when we were in Daring Woods, when we were like doing like the slow pan with the torch. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I was imagining would pop up.
Grim.
So,
I mean, what do you do if that does pop up when
Fucking book it, mate, into the other direction.
Yeah.
or
they
if
start
you,
kicking it? 'Cause we
Or
know
if
that
it's
doesn't
just
work.
sprinting at you, you just got to throw hands
that's it.
and hope for the best.
Use
Yeah.
use
You really do.
Terry's mindset.
I mean, so obviously the saying the
Lozzie,
Navajo
can you
name,
save that for the thumbnail, please, mate?
Right.
saying the Navajo name of a skinwalker apparently attracts its attention, and
But then
Say
also
it, say it,
kills it.
Scott.
well, that's if you. I think that's if you say its human name.
Ah, right. Go on, say it, Scott.
Can't dare. He just gets
Dumb.
mauled on camera.
I don't actually know how to pronounce this. To be fair, hang on, let me get a pronunciation up so I can actually say it correctly.
Scott's about to offend some people.
What do you do? He just turns into a skinwalker.
Just be very grateful that he lives in Plymouth.
Yeah, be very grateful that we do this remotely.
Yeah. Oh no, he's slaughtering the other side of the country.
Oh dear.
Are you going to pronounce this, Scott, or are you just going to leave us with bated breath?
Now-
It's a build up.
Oh, hang on. Say again.
What?
E. Nallushi. Ye,
Sorry.
ye.
You keep
Now
every
Lucy.
time you go to say it, you cut out.
Maybe
That's a curse.
Oh,
Ye
and your
nald
internet's going now.
Lucy.
oh, he's actually fucking changing, mate.
Yee.
He's
Ye
actually,
Look,
he's
it's not
actually
shut.
fucked.
The curse. Oh, he's put in Ye nald
Hello?
Lucy.
Yenald Yushi.
Ye nald Lucy.
Ye nald Lucy. Ye nald Lucy. Ye nald Lucy. Scary stuff.
That's it.
Scary stuff.
Oh,
Well, how
dear.
was your Christmas? Turned into a skinwalker? Weren't great.
I love how Maya's always been against you, like summoning demons in the house.
That's it.
She didn't say
Yeah,
I couldn't
Skinwalkers
turn into
aren't
one.
demons.
Didn't say I couldn't turn into one.
Skinwalkers
that.
aren't demons either.
There's always
That's true.
technicality.
There is. Yeah, I'm summoning a cryptid. Difference. But there you go. Skinwalker Ranch. Okay, last question with Skinwalker Ranch. Because for me, do you know, if there wasn't a series, then I think, because I know I said earlier, oh, this adds a lot that they don't have tours and stuff, but they do have a fucking TV show. If they didn't have that, I think it would add a lot. But what do we think? There's almost too much going on.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that there is some level of government interference or involvement usually points to something happening or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
going down. But then they'll probably just say it's for like, I don't know, like weapons testing or fucking something like that. But that usually doesn't point to just everything being totally fine and dandy. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's my general, kind of theory on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in a similar boat. Again, the scientists being, legitimate scientists adds quite a bit of
Yeah.
credibility, I think.
Yeah.
But then I was also thinking about that, and one of them being an ex-NASA employee makes me think of Mark Rober, who essentially does prank videos on YouTube now.
Oh, was he a
So
scientist?
it's sort of he was a former NASA scientist, so it's sort of like, it doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean,
Now he's just glitter bombing fucking
Yeah.
scam call centers.
and making
Yeah.
squirrel tracks in his garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that the
Okay.
credibility kind of, I'm sure they're very smart.
I'm not
scientists.
being funny. Let's fucking go there. NASA, Operation Paperclip. You know what I mean? Nazis. Just saying. Never forgive, never forget. Just saying. And let's not hold NASA up at fucking high esteem. You know what I mean?
They're not,
That's it.
there's a few glitter bombs of some description in their history, just not including the glitter.
Fake the moon landing.
Oh,
Oh.
fucking
Do they fake
hell.
Skinwalker Ranch?
Listen,
Someone's
I was
got Kate
speaking.
well
I was
running.
speaking in fact. Now
So-
you're just speaking in slander.
That's it.
But I respect it. I
All right,
respect it.
let's do another disclaimer.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say
it.
that's this week's disclaimer.
Yeah.
We did go to the moon. Oh dear, we're a paranormal podcast, not a conspiracy podcast. You want that? Head over to Atma.
That's it.
All right.
Got all the bases covered here.
Exactly. But yeah, something about. I'd love to go. Obviously, we can't. There's something about it, like you say, government involvement and shit. Okay, yeah, that does add a bit. No tours, it adds even more. TV shows killing it for me. Apparently, it's very memeable.
I need to watch. I'm picturing like an American version of Clarkson's Farm.
I'm just kind of imagining like
With ghosts and that.
Yeah,
I'm imagining like there's a dust ball tornado, and they're like, "Whoa, there's a portal! Fuck!" Like
Yeah,
that.
very over.
I might have to give it a watch.
Get out there with an EMF now. It's just fucking windy, mate. It's just fucking windy.
I'll give it a watch and I'll feed back for next pod.
All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
cool.
That'd be good. But yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. What do you guys think? What do you think of the anomalies? Hit the like button. Give us a listen.
Yeah.
Obviously, digest your podcast however you want. But I really love listening to podcasts. I actually listened to this one back quite regularly, mainly to check on the sound levels, but also to enjoy it. And yeah, we're literally on every conceivable podcast platform. So give it a listen.
Baby.
Give it a listen. Obviously, watch it and stuff if you want, but yeah, give it a listen. What's the date when this goes out? This goes out on Wednesday, which is like the week before Christmas, or the week leading up to Christmas.
20th. It'll be.
Yeah, the 20th, and then the next one will come out on the 27th. So this will be either side of Christmas. So by the time we speak to you next, you'll have had Christmas. So have a lovely Christmas. We're going to be putting out a Christmas special ish thing on the 27th. Well, I don't know. How do you do a paranormal Christmas thing?
I guess we're just talking
In
about Krampus.
podcasts. Krampus. Yeah. Christmas
Spoilers.
Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some Christmas ghosts somewhere.
We'll just get
find,
pissed and
we'll
talk
find
about
some.
ghosts and that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's cool. And then on the 3rd will be the New Year special. For that, I want to do the tier list of all of our investigations this year. So we'll rate them, we'll put them in order, and yeah, you
Round out
guys
the
can
year, baby.
see what we think of our investigations. To be honest, spoilers, but I think they're all great. It'll be more. I think it'll be more of it's not going to be a case of like this one was shit. I think it'll be a case of like
This one was really good.
yeah.
It depends what you're ranking them on, doesn't it? I suppose. Is it like activity, or is it the scariness of the place, or is it the overall
Us.
finished product?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you have to get the criteria.
Yeah. Are we rating them on your editing ability or on the actual place we went?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it'll be on the place. It'll be
Yeah.
on the place. It'll be on the location. It'll be on the night, not the video.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Sorry if I've been a bit low energy. I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe, if possible, recording earlier in the day. When I have afternoon energy would be a lot
Afternoon
better.
energy would be good.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
See ya.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Have a
Yeah,
lovely
happy
Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.